Well, hello there. Welcome to the Pick a Card for the week of October 20th through October 26th. Sunday, October 20th through Saturday, October 26th. This week, we are looking at what you most need to know, do, and be aware of this week as it relates to the things that you need to keep in your life and what you need to release. We are looking at what you need to keep in your life and what you need to release in order to move forward. So you are to select card group number 1, card group number 2, or card group number 3. When you comment your card selections by Monday, October 21st, you are automatically entered to win our October giveaway. Come back later for the results. All right, y'all, so the results are in for our pick a card for the week of October 20th through the 26th. I did open up with the little snippet video that I share on my Instagram and my Facebook pages because now that more of you are beginning to watch on YouTube, and I appreciate that, I want you to also be aware that when you follow me on Instagram and on my Facebook pages, I film that little snippet, or I post that little snippet that you just saw earlier in the day. And so those who follow me on those platforms get a sneak peek at the cards that they might want to select. So if you're not following me there, make sure that you are you click the link below to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And so again, you are to select card group number 1, 2, or 3. And when you make your selections by October 21st and you comment them by Monday, October 21st, you are automatically entered to win our monthly giveaway. Our October giveaway will be announced at the end of the month. And so you want to make sure that every week that you comment, or you want to know that every week that you comment, your name gets added to the hat an additional time. So thank you to everyone who has already commented on Instagram and Facebook, and those who are commenting now on YouTube. I really do appreciate it. So this week we are looking at what we most need to know, do, and be aware of as it relates to the things that we need to hold on to and what we need to let go of. And I am saying that, well, actually, I'm going to go more into that during my opening message for those of you who want to tune into that. So if you look below in the description box, you will see my, I have a timestamp down below just for you. So those of you who want to skip ahead to 1, 2, or 3, whichever card group you selected, you can actually go ahead and do that now. But I highly encourage that you stay tuned to my opening intuitive message, because it will actually help you have a deeper understanding for whatever is revealed in your results. So make sure that you stay tuned for that, or you can come back and listen to the opening message after you watch your results, whichever suits you. So I want to remind you all, when you're making your selection, do so by whichever card group most resonates with you. You might like the flowers, for example, that's here on card group 3, but your eyes may keep pulling you back to card group number 1. So then you need to select card group number 1. And I'm using that as an example because sometimes we make selections just on what we like, but really our intuition or our heart is pulling us in a different direction. So go with, if you have a deeper feeling for another card group, then make sure that you make that selection. Because I want to remind you, and I say this in all of my picker cards, that we are collaborators in this reading. There's nothing that I can tell you. I don't have any greater power over your life than you have over your life. And so when you tune in to these pick a card readings, and when you make the selection, that's because that is something that your heart, your soul, your mind is needing to hear at that time. And so you are leading yourself to select whichever card group you select. So always keep that in mind, that we are doing this together in a partnership almost. It's not me giving you a reading, is you collaborating with me to make certain things more clear to you that you need to be more clear. All right. So so I just want to make sure that you are aware of that. Also, I already said when you comment by Monday, so I'm gonna skip on ahead. Make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification button so that you're always made aware of when I am uploading new videos. All right, so let me go ahead and go into the message for this week. So we are going into October 20th through the 26th is what this pick a card is for. And this is a very interesting week astrologically because we have we're in Mercury. The planet Mercury is in its shadow phase, meaning or it's in retrograde. It's starting to slow down. It's not completely retrograde just yet, but it is starting to go into pre-retrograde period. And so whenever Mercury is going retrograde, or when it's preparing to go retrograde, we are given, this is a time for us to start to prepare, to make certain corrections in our life, start to prepare for perhaps the things that we want to release in our lives, to learn certain lessons again if we didn't learn them the first time. It's kind of like just a preparation period to get us to realize, okay, we need to slow down. We need to go over the things that perhaps we've learned in the past and make sure that we actually learn those lessons from the past. So this is something that I always tell my own clients. I tell myself, I tell my daughter, I tell, whoever that, whenever we go through things in life, I always say, what did you learn from it? Because a lot of times when we go through challenges, or we get over a hump, right? We get over a challenge and we're like, whoo, okay, I made it through. That one didn't get me, y'all. That one didn't get me, right? But the question is, but did you learn? Did you learn? Did you learn from it? Because if not, you will keep repeating the same cycles over and over again until you learn the lesson, until you understand whatever it is that you need to get from it. Some of you need to learn your self-worth, your value, so that you won't continue to put yourself in situations, relationships, or compromising positions that are beneath your self-worth. Some of us need to make sure that we're learning patience, right? To not be so impatient and rush, and it's got to happen, now, because sometimes when we rush and we force things to happen before they're ready, then what we get is half success, half done relationships, we only get half of what we should have gotten instead of the whole. So, we could go on and on and on about the lessons that all of us have to learn. But that is what we are preparing to go through during when Mercury actually finally goes retrograde at the end of this month. And so I just want to, make you mindful of that. And it's going retrograde, I believe, in the sign of Scorpio. And the sun is actually moving into the sign of Scorpio this week as well. And so, what I always say whenever we move into a different sign, a new sign, I say, everybody is that sign, including you. And so very soon I will have a video available entitled Everybody's a Scorpio, including you. No matter when your birthday is, no matter what sign you claim to be, when we are in Scorpio season, we are all challenged to learn the lessons that Scorpio has for us. So having a planet like Mercury going into Scorpio and the sun obviously going into Scorpio this week, and I believe Venus is already in Scorpio. It's so many lessons that the sign of Scorpio will be teaching us. So make sure that's why you also need to subscribe to my channel, because I will be uploading that video soon. Everybody's a Scorpio, including you. What's up right now is everybody's a Libra, including you. And as at this moment that I'm recording this video, we are still in Libra season. So make sure that you click, I'm gonna put that link down below, so that you can watch everybody's a Libra, including you, because you know each sign is made to build upon the next one. And so Scorpio season is built on top of Libra season. So you got to make sure that you learn the lessons of Libra, which are about balance and harmony, and beauty and love and self-worth and all of that, before moving on to the lessons of Scorpio, which are about being able to make positive transformations in your life, being able to let go of what needs to be let go of, allowing certain things to die that need to be released from your life. You know, maybe not a literal death, but just the ending of things so that something else can come about. And if you don't know the lessons of Libra about love and balance and harmony and making clear decisions for your life, then it's going to be hard to know what to let go of. Hence the purpose of this pick a card reading, because this week, half of this week is in Libra season, half of this week is in Scorpio season. And so, this week we are looking at what we most need to know, do, and be aware of in order to release the things from our lives that need to be released, and to hold on to the things that are beneficial to us. All right. So sometimes we want to hold on so tight to certain things, and we don't understand that it is through releasing them. Just like, putting a seed in the ground. When you put that seed in the ground, you are releasing that seed and trusting that the ground and nature knows what to do in order to make that seed flourish, right? But you have to first release it. And so that is what we're looking at this week. Libra season really helped us to know what we value and what we love and what we want to bring balance and harmony to. But Libra season also taught us how to make clear choices, make clear decisions, because you can't have balance without, making, choosing to be balanced, making clear choices, right? So now Scorpio is like, okay, so now that you've made clear choices, what do you want to let go of? What are you willing to release? And trust your own magic, trust the process of transformation, basically, that what you release will then transform into what you need, right? And so that is what we're looking at this week. I'm not going to go into any more detail because all of that will be in the video. Everybody's a Scorpio, including you, if you want to know more about how Scorpio energy impacts all of us and how Scorpio energy impacts you. So let's just say you're an Aries. How does Scorpio energy impact an Aries? If you are a Sagittarius, how does Scorpio energy impact Sagittarius, and so on. So that will be coming up. But in the meantime, make sure you go back and watch Everybody's a Libra, including you, which is in the description box down below. All right. So that is it for my opening intuitive message. And so a couple of quick announcements. Make sure you also click the link. There's a link below to book a personal reading. You can get the Magic of Me Intuitive Natal Chart reading, the mini edition of the Natal Chart, Magic of Me Intuitive Natal Chart reading, and also a Clarity Now reading. I will be having, just giving you all a heads up, I may have limited slots available this month because I'm actually starting to get a little booked up. So I may, some of those may end up being sold out. So if you know that is something that you want, make sure that you click that link below and book yours now while it is still available. Also get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, which is a tool, a guide to using self-love as a transformation tool, to positively transform your life for the better. And also, there is a link below for to leave a donation. If these readings are benefiting you in any kind of way and you want to show your appreciation, I don't care how small or how big. If you want to show your appreciation, you can do so via Cash App and PayPal, and those links are down below as well. So that is it for my opening comments. So for those of you who selected card group number 1, your reading is up next. All All right, greetings. So, welcome to the Pick a Card results for card group number 1. For those of you who selected card group number 1, I will quickly go over my announcements just in case you use the timestamp to skip ahead. But I want to remind you to make sure you go back and listen to my opening intuitive message because I said a lot in there. Make sure you click the link below to book a personal reading, The Magic of Me Intuitive Natal Chart reading, the mini edition of The Magic of Me, and also a Clarity Now reading. I'm starting to get a little booked up, which is a very good thing. So some of those readings may go offline for a minute until I catch up. So while they're still available, if you know you want them, make sure you click the link below now to get it. Also, to leave a donation, that link is down below as well. And so I think that's it. So basically, this week, October 20th through the 26th, half of this week is in Libra season, half of it is in Scorpio season. And so we are looking at what you most need to know, do, or be aware of as it relates to the things you need to hold on to in your life and the things you need to release in your life. And so at the top of your cards, have some dried hibiscus flowers. And hibiscus is very interesting because hibiscus is one of those flowers that often, a lot of times people make teas and drinks out of. It's really good if you make a tea out of it. It is one of those flowers that can be used for love, right? For attraction and things of that nature. But what's also very interesting is that it can also be used when you are needing to remove certain obstacles and clear your path. So it kind of has a dual purpose. It has that love energy and then it has fire energy with it too, which is very, very interesting, seeing as how we are moving from Libra season, which is ruled by the planet Venus, and it deals with love and beauty and attraction, and then moving into Scorpio season, which yes, deals with passion and that, even sexual energy and fire energy in that way, but also deals with transformation and allowing things to be released from your life so that they can be transformed into something better. All right. So, and then I also have at the top of your card a clear quartz, a quartz crystal. Quartz crystal is one of those stones that everybody should have in their arsenal. It really does help with having clarity of mind, being very, very clear, knowing clearly what you want. A lot of times, sometimes people don't even know what they want. So it's about having clarity and removing confusion. But quartz crystal also adds its energy to whatever energy you blend it with. So if you're using it with stones of passion, then it adds more of its energy to that. If you're using stones dealing with love or stones dealing with healing and heart chakra, then it lends its energy to that as well. So it always is a good helper for other stones. Okay, so this week, I really feel like for a lot of people, clarity is going to be much, much needed, especially because if you listen to my opening message, I talked about Mercury, the planet Mercury, being in its shadow phase. And by the end of the month, we will be in a Mercury retrograde. So we need to have clarity. We need to have clarity of mind as we go into this time period. And so what I always say, if you want to know more about quartz crystal or hibiscus, guess what you can do? You can go on your little computer, go to Google and type in quartz crystal or clear quartz and hibiscus and just learn more about their energies. All right. So let's go into your reading. All right, so at the top here, we have a card from a goddess energy deck. Whether you are a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. The goddesses speak to us all. I don't know which goddess is here because I don't flip these cards over before your reading. So anyway, I will give my own 2 cents about what I feel this goddess is saying to you, and then I will also read the message that comes with this card, okay? Wow, okay. She appeared some weeks ago, And before I shuffle the deck, I always ask, okay, goddesses, which one of you has the message for my audience this week? And so you received, I believe her name is pronounced Metis. Metis. She deals with wisdom. Wow. She deals with wisdom. And every time, so many of the goddesses have moons on their cards because they deal with not necessarily, wisdom doesn't come from books, right? Knowledge comes from books. You can read and gain a lot of information. You can Google and gain information and knowledge. But wisdom comes from applying knowledge. And wisdom also comes from delving deeper, going it deals more with intuition. And so this week, October 20th through the 26th, as we are transitioning from Libra season, which is all about love and beauty and finding balance and harmony and making decisions, into Scorpio season, which is about, okay, what do you need to release so that you can transform something better? You need wisdom in order to do that. You need wisdom in order to do that. So let's see what this goddess, what her message is for you. And I will read two messages. The first one is the empowerment message, which is her general message to you. And then I will read the alignment message, which gives you guidance on what to do if you find yourself out of alignment with wisdom. All right. So the empowerment message says, experience woven together with knowledge creates a beautiful thing. Wisdom. Its parts are entwined like a finely made rope that is so strong it can't be cut. Wisdom, once earned, becomes an essential part of you. Right now, the Greek goddess of wisdom, Metis, says you know exactly what to do in your current circumstances. The real question is, do you have the courage and commitment to make a wise choice? Wow. Your answer is not to hide. You are being invited to look within rather than without. Take the wisdom you already have and apply it to your question. Perhaps, however, you must instead draw forth the humility to find someone wiser to weigh in. In this powerful time, others may seek you out for wisdom. This is also an auspicious period when new relationships are founded on deep truths shared with others. You are entering a potent period of your life to share all that you are and all you have learned. Extraordinary things are possible when the goddess Metis reminds you of your wisdom and the need to express it. Wow. So again, I just stated that we're coming out of Libra season, which one of the highlights of Libra season or Libra energy is that it teaches us how to move from indecision to decision, to stop being indecisive and to make a clear cut choice. And we need that wisdom because when we move into Scorpio season, Scorpio energy is all about letting certain things die, letting certain things be released from your life. There's so much more to Scorpio energy, but that's one of the things. And so if you're not making clear choices in your life, if you can't even make a decision on what you want and what you don't want in your life, it's kind of hard to know what needs to be released. And so walking in your own wisdom, trusting that you do have intuitive wisdom within you is so important. And also knowing when to perhaps tag someone who is wiser than you to give you clarity and guidance. All right, so the alignment message, in case you find yourself out of alignment with wisdom, says, the goddess Metis learned a painful lesson long ago and does not want you to go through the same experience. She chose to make herself small, dim her life force and inner light, and reduce her power to keep love. Who or what in your life is causing you to do the same? Do you dim yourself out of fear of reprisal, or because you have a sense that you are unworthy and unlovable, or perhaps too much or too smart? The goddess Metis offers an important alignment task. You must face this fear, this anxiety, and say a resounding no. Even in the face of the greater story of cultural conditioning, be brave and courageous and ask how you can be part of the solution. Playing small is an excuse to not be accountable for your personal power and to not be effective in the world. You have an abundance of life force energy in you, so come out of the shadows and let yourself shine. Take the risk and bring your wisdom to the world. We need you. Wow. Wow. Okay. So some of you may be, maybe have found yourself being compromising yourself, compromising what you want, compromising your greater wisdom, because perhaps you've been wanting to play it small. You don't want to offend certain people. You don't want others to feel less than about themselves because of the goodness that's within you. So then you lower yourself to their standard. And I'm really feeling like some of you may be doing this in love relationships. So you may be accepting partnerships that are below your self-worth. You may be accepting, even if you're already partnered up or married, you may be accepting certain things in your relationship that are beneath your self-worth, and it's time out for that. And Scorpio season Scorpio season, oh my gosh, Scorpio is such a powerful sign that we're all moving into. And you know what I say, no matter what sign you are, once we move into a certain season, we're all learning the lessons of that sign. And Scorpio teaches us to really stand in our power and to be willing to let certain things go that keep us compromising ourselves. All right. So you're highly encouraged to have courage, to believe in yourself, to believe in your strength, to believe that you're worthy, to believe in your divinely given gifts, talents, whatever, that you are worthy of the best, and to stop compromising, especially with us about to go through Mercury retrograde, because Mercury retrograde reminds us of the lessons that we keep the lessons that we need to repeat for whatever reason, and it goes back over it to make sure we learn the lessons. So some of you may even be challenged to make sure that you learned the lesson of not compromising yourself. All right. So all of the goddesses have their own mythology that helps you to have a deeper understanding of their story and how it applies to you. So I highly encourage that, along with quartz crystal, that you Google Metis to learn her story and see how it applies to you. Okay, so let's see. Your cards here, the one on the bottom is your general insight and wisdom. The card that crosses it helps you to know what can hinder or help that energy there. All right. Wow. So you received the World and the Knight of Wands. The World, and it's crossed by the Knight of Wands. Wow. October 20th through the 26th. Again, we are looking at what you need to know, do and be aware of as it relates to the things you need to keep in your life and what you need to release. The World is the last card of the tarot deck. And it indicates a time of completion. I mean, if you look at her, she's sitting on top of the world. She's got her butterfly wings. It represents a time of completion. It represents a time of wholeness. It represents a time even of endings, because completion always represents when you've completed a cycle and it's time to move on to the next one. So this is a time for you this week really to review the lessons that you've learned, to look at the accomplishments that you've made thus far, especially this year, because we're getting closer to the end of the year. So really, this will be a great week to review this year from January to October. What have you accomplished? What hurdles have you gotten over? Because sometimes when we're living excuse me, when we're going through life, when we're living life, right, we forget the obstacles that we've overcome. We forget the challenges that we met head on and that we overcame because we're so busy on just, getting through the day, right? And so a lot of you have probably made greater strides than what you think. And greater accomplishments than what you think. So I'm really feeling that some of you actually need to go back and look at your life in January. Even if it's like a child when they're growing. You ever seen those little like those charts? People sometimes will mark a point on the wall to show how their child is growing, and they go back and they look, and at first their child was here, and then there's another point here, and it's like, wow, the child is like, I didn't even feel myself growing. When did this happen? So many of you have perhaps grown a lot this year, and you can't even feel it because it was so subtle. It's little by little. The same way, we can't tell when we're gaining weight until we've gained it. We can't tell we've grown in height until, we actually measure ourselves, right, a lot of times. And so, it's really good, I think, for a lot of you this week to really look at how you have grown. Because it's so easy to only look at your challenges and obstacles and your mistakes and, where you've messed up or where you've been hindered. But I'm really feeling strongly that for many of you, you got to look at how you've grown this year, because you've grown a lot more than what you think you have. And the reason why you got to look at that is because you're about to move into a new season. And Scorpio season in particular, along with this Mercury retrograde that we will be going into later this month, really deals with transformation, and so some of you are about to enter into a phase of perhaps dramatic transformations, dramatic changes. Certain aspects of your life may be really getting ready to change and transform, and you might go into that change feeling like it's happening very abruptly, and it's like, no, but it's because you're ready. It's because you're ready. You're ready for the next level. You're ready for that change. But the only way to really know that and be aware of your readiness is to look at where you have already, look at how you have already grown. Look at the ways in which you've already, how you've already, it's like, it's something in my head and I can't get it out. It's like I'm hearing a song. What is that song? And maybe I'm thinking about it because I've been going back and listening to a lot of the like Negro spirituals lately, and one of them was, I feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from, right? Are the lyrics of this song. And some of you may be feeling tired. You may feel like, gosh, just one challenge after another, one thing after another, that that you forget, like, no, this ain't the time to feel tired, because you've done some mighty good things this year. You've accomplished and overcome some challenges this year that perhaps you're not even aware of. So you might even want to write those things down. I don't care how small it is. Whatever challenge you've overcome, whatever hurdle you've gotten over, whatever thing that you graduated from or achieved, write those things down and say, wow, I did that, and this is how I grew. Look at these butterfly wings. Look at yourself through this year and say, how did I transform from from a caterpillar to a butterfly this year? And really be proud of yourself in that. Instead of being weighed down by the challenges and obstacles, be proud of yourself in that. Because it's crossed by the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is a card of, wow, is a card of power, is a card of exerting your power, exerting your will, really pushing your power on out there. And in a very active kind of way. And so that, you have this driving force. Don't forget your power. Don't forget your own energy. This may be a week for many of you to re-energize yourself. You might need to do things like just working out this week. Get back into your meditations, but not in a passive way. The Knight of Wands is anything but passive. The Knight of Wands is a card of straight power, of ambition, of drive, of going for it, right? And so this will be a time for you to remember. Yeah, that's it. This is a time for many of you to remember your motivation as to why you did the work you did this year, whether it was personal work on yourself, whether it was going back to school, whether it was leaving a relationship that didn't work for you, whether it was being clear about your own self-worth, whatever. Many of you this week really need to go into remembering what is driving you, what is you're more powerful than you think. You're more powerful than than perhaps you have allowed yourself to think about yourself. I mean, even the story of Metis, where it talked about her dimming her own light in favor of someone else's power, and because of that she lost a lot of her own power, right? So she's reminding you, don't dim your power, don't dim your light. Remember your power this week. Remember the power of your words, the power of your thoughts, the power of your action, the power of your dreams, the power of your ambition, right? Remember that you have something powerful to live for. Remember that you have something so powerful and magnetic that keeps you, going, that keeps you waking up, every single day. And so if you're tempted to dim your own light, if you're tempted to play it small, no, this is not the time for that. This is the time to remember that you have dreams, ambitions, goals, things, desires, love desires, career desires, family desires, whatever, personal goals and desires that are worthy of you taking action on, right? And, so don't be so weighed down or tired by the different challenges that maybe you've experienced this year. Instead, look at how many of them you have overcome. Look at how you have stayed strong. Remember, sit on top of your own world. Sit in your power this week. Sit strongly and squarely in your power this week. All right. So the wisdom card that you received, wow, is all that glitters. And I know when this card appears, it usually speaks to, sometimes we give our attention to things and people that look good on the outside, but are very hollow and unfulfilling on the inside. But let me read what the card has to say. It says, all that glitters, a need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing, being mercurial. It's only human to want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint a pretty picture of oneself. It's natural to want to acquire the trappings of status or to deny them as a statement of rebellion. But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, a big house, a title or position, the stamp of authority, or the sparkling of diamonds, these icons let you know something about a person, place, or thing. Or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they symbolically will elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe underneath the surface. Learn to recognize the mask people wear and the motives underlining them. Imagine that all the glitter is gone. Would you still desire the object or person? Wow. So sometimes, if you go back and read the story of Metis, like the reason why she played herself small, it really was for love. Like she was all about what was glittering about the particular God that she was all in love with, right? And she played herself small, and in doing so, she played herself out, you know. And so many of you, you may be looking at other people, their talents, their gifts, or their maybe it's a love relationship, and you may be giving that other person or that other thing more glitter than they deserve, because you are playing yourself small. You may be saying, oh wow, if I just had her talent, her gift, or if I had his talent, his gift, or if I had that type of man in my life or that type of woman in my life, it would make me more valuable, it would make me more important. And the thing that you are giving all this glitter to is not gold. And even if it is gold, the fact that if you have to play yourself down and play yourself small in order to elevate that other person, if you're making that other person or that talent, that gift, that thing, that object more valuable than your own personal value, then even if it is gold, it becomes fool's gold for you. It becomes pointless for you. It actually becomes a hindrance, right? So you have to remember who you are. Remember your own power. Remember to sit in the seat of your own power. And sometimes, even though this wasn't what I was feeling for everybody, but sometimes when the Knight of Wands appears, the Knight of Wands can indicate when they're, a man or a woman, but it's a man on this card, but, a man or a woman who comes in, who appears to be all dashing and powerful and just so alluring, right? But underneath it all, there's nothing there. This is hollow. So for some of you, you actually need to check the relationships you're in or the people that you find yourself attracted to. And are they really all that they say that they are? Or are you just in love with their image, in love with the image that they portray and how you think you would feel if you had that man in your life or that woman in your life or that car in your life or that house in your life. Anything that you have to dim yourself for, anything that makes you feel less than, or anything that you feel will boost your self-esteem just because you're with that person, you're already out of order. Because you should already be in a place of worthiness, already in a place of self-love, self-worth, self-value. Nothing outside of you can add value to you, right? Nothing outside of you can give you your self-worth. You have to know who you are. You have to sit strongly in your own power and knowing of your own worth, so that when these other things come into your life, is not because it's boosting your self-esteem or that you feel better about yourself because you have them or you have these relationships. Is because you're worthy of them and they have to be worthy of you. All right. So that is the reading for the week of October 20th through the 26th. Make sure that you comment your card selection by Monday, October 21st, if you want your name added to the hat to win our October giveaway. All right, so that is it. Until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Well, hello there, and welcome to the Pick a Card results for card group number 2. I will quickly go over the announcements just in case you use the timestamp to skip ahead, because I don't want you to miss not a good thing. So make sure that you click the link below to book a personal reading. You can get the Clarity Now reading, which is like just if you have a question about something going on in your life and you just want clarity on that. You can also book the Magic of Me Intuitive Natal Chart reading and also the mini edition of that reading. Make sure you click the link below to learn more about what those are about. I do have several readings already booked, so some of those may soon be sold out for the month. So while they are still available, you want to make sure that you click below and book your reading before they are unavailable. Also, if you want to leave a donation, you can do so via Cash App and Cash App and PayPal. Those links are down below. And also, if you want to be in the running to win our October giveaway, make sure that you comment your card selection for this week by Monday, October 21st. All right. So, and I gave a great opening intuitive message, which is, I know it will be very helpful in helping you to have a deeper understanding of this week's reading. Because half of this week is we are still in Libra season, and then we go into Scorpio season. So both of those signs are teaching us lessons this week. And Mercury is in its shadow phase, and by the end of the month, it will be fully retrograde. So I go into all of that in the opening message of this week's reading. So make sure you rewind the tape and go back and listen to that, because it'll give you better understanding of what we're about to get into here. All right, so at the top of your cards, we have some lovage roots. Lovage is a root, a flower, root, herb that really deals with kind of like what his name says, love, attraction, drawing to you loving situations, loving people, relationships and situations into your life, or lovely, it doesn't have to be a person, but lovely situations, opportunities into your life. So these can be added to a bath. They can be added to even used to make a tea out of, to attract those things to you. And I included that because part of this week we are still in Libra season, which is about love and attraction, but it's also about making decisions, not being indecisive about what you want, but being decisive, being clear, which kind of taps into why I've also added this clear quartz, because clarity is so important about what you want in your life. You have to be of clear mind, and not wishy-washy and going back and forth. And so it is about being clear about what you want, because sometimes we want certain things, like we want certain relationships, we want certain opportunities in our lives, but then we come up with every reason why we think we can't have it or why we shouldn't want it, blah blah blah. So anyway, this clear quartz is about adding clarity to your mind, getting out of confusion and bringing clarity, because we're about to also go into Scorpio season. Scorpio season is about letting go a lot of times, and about being able to release certain things so that they can transform and come back to you more elevated and even better. And so you don't know what to let go of if you're not clear about what you want, right? And that is what this week is. This pick a card is all about what you most need to know, do, and be aware of as it relates to the things you need to keep in your life and the things that you need to release, whether that be people or circumstances or whatever. So, and so you know what I always tell you to do if you want to know more, you can always Google lovage, that's Lovage, and clear quartz crystal. You can Google that to learn more about their energy and what they do. All right. So at the top of your card, I have at the top of your deck, I have a card from a goddess energy deck. The goddesses speak to us all, whether you are a man or a woman. They have messages for us all, and that's what I always ask when I'm shuffling. I ask which goddess will speak to my viewers for the week. So I don't know who's here yet. Some of them I'm familiar with, some I'm just learning about. So I will give my own 2 cents about, what I feel this goddess has to say. And then I will also read the information that comes with the card as well. Okay. Wow. Ooh, gosh, speak of transformation. Isis, the goddess Isis, who deals with rebirth. Man, this goddess's story is super powerful. Y'all, look at this. Whoa, I'm trying to put the clear quartz on her third eye up there. But this goddess here, wow, this is a goddess of ancient Kemetic. She's a Kemetic goddess, or also known, Kemet is also known as Egypt. So an Egyptian goddess. And she definitely deals with rebirth. In her story, she basically lost the love of her life to jealousy. Gosh, this is so on point for us being in Libra season and Scorpio season this week, because Libra dealing with love and balance and harmony and ma'at, and then Scorpio dealing with on his lower energy, jealousy and revenge and manipulation, and death. Even though death is not always a bad thing, but that jealousy and stuff like that. And so Isis lost the love of her life due to her husband had a brother who was very jealous of him, according to the mythology, and his brother killed him, cut him up into, I believe it was 13 pieces. And Isis had to go all around the world and find those 13 pieces and put her husband back together again. And then they conceived, and she gave birth to her son Horus, also known as Heru. And so she deals with putting things back together after chaos and confusion. When chaos and confusion and destruction are on the scene, she deals with that process of bringing things that are dead back to life, bringing forth the higher energy of Scorpio, which is transformation and alchemy. Being able to transform things from a lower state to a higher state. So many of you this week may be challenged to discover how to transform chaotic situations or things that are out of order in your life and transform them into things that are in order, and bringing balance back to destructive things. All right. So I'm going to read her, and I just dropped the stone, y'all. Oh, I think I can reach it. Got it. I'm going to read her empowerment message, which is the general information that she has for you. And then I will also read her alignment message, just in case you find yourself this week out of alignment, what you need to do. So the empowerment message says, the process of soul retrieval, resurrection, and rebirth is the theme recurrent through the stories of the Egyptian goddess Isis, and one that she invites you to address now. This is a powerful moment to see some of what you thought you lost go through a process of regeneration to live again. Like magic, the pieces of you that were considered lost in old wounds and stories are ready to be reclaimed in a healthier, more mature version. Where you were hopeless, now there is hope. Where you lost faith, you have the capacity for even more now. Where there was inequity and injustice, you can see a better way. Where you were abandoned, now you can choose you. You are ready to face these parts of yourself and to gather them together as you step into a newer, more powerful version of yourself, your work, your relationships, and your creativity. Have courage, let go of blame, claim your accountability, and then co-create something better. You can do this. The goddess Isis has come to help you as a potent supporter in your growth. Wow. That is really, 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 really powerful. You all, this week, I really strongly believe so many of you this week are learning how to overcome the circumstances of life, and to move from victimhood to your own power, to move from this person did this to me, this person did that, or or this happened to me and I don't know how to overcome. And if you go back and listen to my opening message, which I hope you did at the very beginning of this this week's reading, my opening intuitive message that I gave to everyone, talked about understanding that, with us about to go into a Mercury retrograde period. It's not retrograde yet, but the planet Mercury is in its shadow phase. So it's preparing us for Mercury retrograde, which is a time of having to relearn lessons, retrace our steps, go back over, maybe things that we've been through, and learn to look at it from a different perspective. And so you are preparing yourself for that process. All right. So the alignment message that the goddess Isis has for you states, the goddess Isis, with her powers of reincarnation, has a message for you. You are not broken. You are not wounded beyond healing, and opportunities are not necessarily lost forever. Your insistence on defining yourself by your losses and wound stories are not serving you now. Your alignment task is to fully accept things as they are. Choose to find a way to put the pieces back together. Let die what doesn't serve you and focus on what works. There is so much goodness to come from this situation, even if in this moment you feel trapped. The goddess Isis wants only the best for you. As your fierce ally, she will challenge you when you go off track. So pick up the pieces, tell a new story, and find home again. You will be amazed at how beautifully things come together when you reject the trap created by the stories you tell yourself. You have the key. Use it. Wow. Gosh, if that is not on point with us transitioning from Libra season to Scorpio season, Scorpio being all about death but regeneration, all about the underworld but coming back to life, all about releasing so that something new can be reborn. And some of you need to release your old stories. Especially if there's stories that keep you trapped in a state of victimhood. It's not to say that, what happened didn't happen or somebody didn't hurt you or the bad didn't occur, but it's about repositioning yourself in a better state. If you go and read the story of Isis, in her story, it is about, something so traumatizing happening to her and her going through tragedy, but also her stepping into her goddess power and saying, you know what, that's not going to stop me. I'm about to put all the pieces back together and live my best life. All right. So that is what the message that she has for you this week. So, what I always tell you to do, Google this goddess, look up Isis, read her story. All of the goddesses have their own stories and mythology, and it's meant to teach us lessons. So, just read about her and go deeper into the lessons that she has for you. All right, so for those of you who selected this card group number 2, these are the cards that came up for you. This one on the bottom is just your general information, what you need to know, and what crosses it helps you to know what can help you or hinder you this week, gives further insight and clarity on that. All right. So you receive the moon, and it's crossed by the 10 of Pentacles. The moon, which is crossed by the 10 of Pentacles. Wow. All right. So the moon. I like the moon for various reasons. The moon, like the moon, it's actual moon. It illuminates the nighttime, right? It helps us to see in the darkness. It rules the nighttime. So the moon actually is, whenever I see the moon in tarot, I know that we're dealing with your intuitive self. We're dealing with the part, your unconscious mind, or even your subconscious mind, I should say. And what is kind of going on in your subconscious mind, because what we do, how we act, the words that we say, are very much impacted or influenced by what's happening on the subconscious level. So, for example, you can consciously with your mind or with your mouth, you can even say, for example, like, oh yeah, I know I love myself, right? But if you look at the other words that you say throughout the day, if you look at how you live your life and the choices that you make and the decisions that you make, are they really in line with self-love? So the moon, when I see this card, I know that you are being challenged or encouraged to look at the underlying thoughts that are governing what you say and what you do. When I see the moon card, I know that you are being influenced and impacted by something that you may not even consciously be aware of. And with us moving from Libra season into Scorpio, Libra season being all about finding balance and harmony and making decisions, and then Scorpio being about, releasing and death and then rebirth and transformation. Scorpio season for all of us, no matter what sign you are you are, is a season when we have to go into the darkest parts of ourselves, those hidden parts of ourselves that sometimes we don't want to deal with, because in the deepest, darkest parts of ourselves, you find your real desires, your truest desires. It's the part of yourself that you cannot lie to yourself about. It's also where you find maybe how you have been sabotaging yourself. It's the place where you find your hidden fears and worries and anxieties. And so this week you are highly encouraged to go into your subconscious self. You know, you may really have to really spend time in meditation, in a, I know I keep saying subconscious, but in a conscious meditation where you consciously are asking, praying, what hidden thoughts, fears, worries are still playing on my subconscious mind? What is going on in there that is still influencing how I move, how I act, the relationships that I choose to get into, my behaviors? What is really going on in there? And so this week, you really need to delve deeply into your subconscious. Find out what fears, worries, thoughts, whatever is playing out in your life. Review your life and see how that is playing out. Because when you do so, the moon was crossed by the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles is really about legacy. If I had to put it into one word, I mean, obviously when you see the pentacles, a lot of times people think about money, and we could say it is about longevity of wealth and generational wealth and all that kind of stuff. But in a nutshell, it's just your legacy as a whole. You know, it's what you want to leave behind. It's what you are living for. You know, what are you living for? Some of you maybe have been trapped in your fears and your worries, and it's been keeping you from remembering what you're living for the good that you're living for, right? And so this week, because we're looking at what you need to hold on to and what you need to release, perhaps this is a week to release your fears, your worries. But in order to do so, you have to be clear on what they are. You can't lie to yourself, because the moon also deals with, those little lies that we tell ourselves. It deals with illusion. So you have to come out of the illusion, right? Get that clarity and come out of the illusion so that you can remember, what are you working for? What are you living for? What are you hustling for? What inspires you? What do you want to be your legacy? And what do you want to be the thing that you can say that this is what I'm living for? Do you want to continue to feed your fears and worries and doubts and continue to involve yourself in any self-sabotaging behavior? Or do you want to move into remembering to be more conscious about living in a way that you can be proud of for the long term? When we look at the story of Isis, in her story, she lost her husband to jealousy and envy, to those sneaky little fears that somebody else had, manipulation, right? She lost the love of her life to that. But she remembered that, look, we got a legacy. We got something that we're working toward, and we haven't even had our child yet. You know what I'm saying? So let me put my man back together again. Let me put him back together so that we can conceive our child. And so that then our child, if you know the story, Heru or Horus, their child then comes and becomes like the redeemer of their people and fights, continues the fight that his father had before his father was killed. So then that legacy continues, you know what I mean? And some of you, I'm saying all that to say, some of you, you got to think beyond yourself. You know what I mean? Like Isis, you got to think beyond yourself. You got to think beyond, who did what to you. You got to think beyond the victim state. You got to get beyond what has hurt you, because you've got a legacy. You've got something to live for, and I'll say this here. I don't know everybody's, beliefs and whatnot who are watching, but, in traditional in almost every indigenous culture, I'll say that, but particularly in traditional African religions and spirituality, is there's this constant story of the ancestors and their descendants, and and this notion of your life being bigger than you, that as you are living, yes, you're living for the things that you want in this lifetime and whatnot, but you're also living for those who will come after you, for your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, and so on down the line. And you are already somebody's ancestor. You are already, someone who, your descendants may be able to look back to you and say, wow, we still would have been struggling with this issue or dealing with this issue had it not been for our ancestor, fill in your name right here, right? So for many of you, many of you are being challenged to even break generational curses and generational patterns and habits that keep even your family locked in these spirals of destruction. So you have to look beyond yourself. And if you're just still caught up on, who did what to you, the sob story, the sadness, and the victimhood, it's not to say that you can't, that you have to deny that those things have happened, but you've got to look beyond that. Where do you see yourself in the long run? And even beyond yourself, your children, your children's children, and so on down the line in your family. Because if you get stuck in fears and the illusion and the lying to yourself and the self-sabotage, you can't rebuild. You can't put the pieces back together so that you can have the longevity that you desire and the legacy that you desire. So this week, with us going into Scorpio season this week, well, starting out in Libra season, Libra is all about finding balance and harmony and making clear decisions. And then once those decisions are met, Scorpio season teaches us, okay, so what has to be let go of? What do you have to surrender and allow to just die and to be surrendered so that something new can be reborn? All right. So that is what you all are challenged to look at this week. All right. So the wisdom card that you received is a card called Exchanging Gifts. Exchanging gifts. And I know when I see this one, it really does deal with that law of reciprocity. And, you have to know your self-worth. You have to know your worthiness in order to know what your gifts are and to exchange them for something of equal or greater value. So exchanging gifts says the law of giving and receiving, currency, trade-offs, weighing the cost, and determining value. You're entering into a productive and enriching time when all manner of opportunities are being offered to you. You have everything you need to seize them. Yet in order to honor them, you must put in the time, exchange your experience and skills, and commit heart and soul to what you're choosing to pursue. You can do it. You have what it takes to be successful if you align with the law of giving and receiving. You must engage in a dance of give and take, push and pull, doing and being. If you let fear guide your choices, you could deplete yourself or create an imbalance. This is not a time to just do. Use your currency wisely and be mindful of the value others bring to your life. Wow, that's very important, especially that last line. Be mindful of the value that others bring to your life, because if you are not clear on the value that others bring to your life, you will hold on to people and circumstances that are actually depleting you out of fear of letting them go. And so you have to really look at, who are you? What skills and talents do you have? What value do you add to your family, to your job, to your network, to your circle of friends? And it doesn't always have to be equated to money. It's just, what do you bring to the table? Do you bring love? Do you bring positive energy? Are you somebody who brings wisdom and clarity? What gifts and skills do you have? And then are you receiving that back in return in some kind of way? Or are you finding yourself imbalanced and out of balance and feeling depleted? Some of you may be just giving out of fear of letting go, out of fear, or maybe just because the moon deals with subconscious mind. So it might just be subconsciously, you just give. You just feel like that's what you're supposed to do, to just completely deplete yourself without asking, anything in return. But you have to remember that you have a purpose and you have a legacy. And you have something that you that is bigger than you, that you have to leave behind. And this isn't a death message or nothing like that. When I say leave behind, I mean, when you enter into a space and then you leave that space, how do you leave that space? When you enter into a room and you leave that room, what energy did you leave the room with, the people with? You have to be mindful of that, because you want to move from a place of depletion, of lack, of victimhood, of struggling, whatever patterns you have allowed to govern your life. If they're not beneficial, those unbeneficial patterns of thoughts and behaviors, you have to be willing to leave those behind, because you have something bigger that you need to put together, something bigger that you are needing to live for. And you have to be mindful of that. You have to be mindful of that. And you have to be willing and prepared to let certain things go, whether it's people, circumstances, or just a pattern of believing and thinking, so that you can elevate. And live that life that you so desperately desire, and that you envision for yourself. You have the power to do it. You really do have the power to do it. Like Isis said, she basically brought someone who was dead back to life. And some of you need to you need to allow certain things to die, but then bring to life the good, and don't entertain foolishness. Don't entertain things that have no longevity of purpose, that have no long-term benefits. If they're more of a hindrance and a hurt than a good, then let those things go. All right. So that is y'all's reading for this week, October 20th through the 26th. Again, make sure that you click the link below to book a personal reading while they are still available, because they will sell out very, very soon. And also to leave a donation, and also to watch. I think I still have available Everybody's a Libra, including you, because each of the signs build upon each other. So you want to make sure that you watch that video as you prepare to go into Scorpio season. So make sure that you click that link below, and then also comment your card selections on or before Monday, October 21st, if you want to be in the running to win our October giveaway. All right, so that is it for your reading for this week. Thank you all so much for watching, and until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. All right, greetings, y'all, and welcome to the Pick a Card results for card group number 3. Before I do the reveal, I want to quickly go over the announcements, just in case you were one of the ones who used the timestamp to skip ahead. Make sure you go back and listen to my opening message, because I talk about us moving from Libra season into Scorpio season, which is very important. It's going to help you to have a deeper understanding of whatever these card results are here. So make sure you rewind all the way back to the beginning of this entire video. Somewhere in those first few minutes, I go into the opening message, and so you want to make sure that you get that. Also, make sure you click the link below to book a personal reading. I'm starting to get quite a few readings, which is a great thing, which means also that I may have to make some of them unavailable for a little while I work on those who have already booked personal readings. So while the links are still up and available before they sell out, you want to make sure that you book your Magic of Me Intuitive Natal Chart reading, the mini edition of the Magic of Me, or a Clarity Now reading. And so you can learn more about those at the link below. Just click there, and then it gives you the information about each reading so that you can go ahead and book them before they sell out. Also, comment your card selections this week on or before Monday, October 21st, if you want to be in the running to win our October giveaway. And always If you feel any, if these readings have been beneficial to you in any way, there is a link below to leave a donation. There's no donation too small or too large. It's all about just showing your appreciation. And you can do that via Cash App or PayPal. Those links are down below as well. And get my book, The Magic of Self-Love. All right, that's it. Okay, so anyway, at the top of your cards, I have jasmine flowers. These are dried jasmine flowers. And jasmine is one of those flowers that does deal with a very feminine energy. And by feminine, I mean it's the energy that deals with our intuition. It's very much connected to the moon and the planet Venus. And Venus is the planet that rules Libra season, which, depending on when you're watching this week, as at the moment that I'm filming this, we are still in Libra season, the season of the sign that deals with balance and harmony and love and beauty. But we're also going into Scorpio season this week. And sometimes, even though jasmine flowers are more connected to that intuitive love and beauty energy, but it sometimes is used in different herbal blends that deal with protection as well, so which is a very Scorpio kind of thing. But their energy really is more on the Libra side, dealing with love and beauty, and intuition, and that feminine energy that we all possess, whether you are a man or a woman. And so I also placed at the top of your card a quartz crystal. Everybody has a quartz crystal this week. And the quartz crystal really deals with clarity, like clarity, wisdom and clarity. Libra season, one of his energies was about making decisions, and you have to have a clear mind in order to make clear and conscious decisions, right? And then once we go into Scorpio season, the reason why it's so important to go beyond your sun sign, where so it doesn't matter what sign you are. If we're in Libra season, you are challenged to learn the lessons of Libra, and when we're in Scorpio season, you're challenged to learn the lessons of Scorpio. And so Libra taught us the importance of finding balance and harmony by making clear decisions. And then Scorpio teaches us how to let go, how to allow certain things to, for lack of a better word, die, so that they can transform and become something new. So in order to do that, you got to have done the work in Libra season to make clear decisions. You got to know what you want, right? So so that's why, these two were on top of your card. If you want to know more, make sure you do what I always tell you do. Google clear quartz crystal to learn more information, because there's so much more that can be said about this stone. And then also Google the purpose. You might Google it as the mystical purposes or the magical purposes of the jasmine flower. All right. So let's get on into it. This card here comes from a goddess energy deck. I don't know what goddess is here. I always ask the goddesses to, whoever wants to speak up to, when I'm shuffling, that's who comes forward. So this week we are looking at what you most need to know, do, and be aware of as it relates to what you need to hold on to and what you need to let go of and release. And so this goddess here, I don't know who is here, but I will give my own 2 cents about her once I flip this card over. And then I will also read the information that comes with this card. Ooh. Well, all right. I believe her name is pronounced Freya. And she deals with, as you can see here, radical acceptance. Radical acceptance. This week, remember, we are looking at what you most need to know, do, and be aware of in order to know what to hold on to and what to release. And just looking at this card, I'm feeling that many of you may need to tap into the courage to be able to face certain things and to release them so that you can move on. It's very interesting that she has the, on this card, it's like the symbol of infinity or Ouroboros, I believe it is, but the symbol of infinity, but also infinite wisdom. You know, we're constantly elevating, we're constantly learning, we're constantly, you know, learning the lessons of life and then elevating from them. There is no stagnation. Everything is always moving and vibrating. And so some of you may feel like, oh, you know, when is this going to end? When is this going to... And the reality is, in life, you're constantly learning, you're constantly growing, you're constantly elevating. And the more you allow yourself to elevate, the less you'll feel like burdened by the challenges of life, because you'll have the power and the courage to meet them head on and to elevate. You'll do it with eagerly and powerfully. All right, so let's just see what this goddess, the information that she has for you. The first message I'll read is the empowerment message, which gives you just how her message can empower you. And then I will read the alignment message, which is what you can do if you find yourself out of alignment with the wisdom that she has for you. All right, so the empowerment message says, when you see life as a battleground, you lose sight of a more easeful way to be in the world. Can you stand in the middle of the chaos and allow yourself to center in the quiet hum in the eye of the storm? Let the peace of Freya, the Norse goddess of war, enter your mind. Amid the flurry of battle, she came to collect the fallen and bring them to a place of rest and recuperation. Freya is here to remind you that the acceptance of defeat is not the end. She offers the gift of acceptance, the knowing that there is nothing to resist right now. See your world at face value and look into it with discernment. When you see with greater clarity, not taking this world so personally, you will not have to fight at all. If you take full stock of your conditions, surrendering to what is, you can move to higher ground, begin again, or wait until the drama dies down. You are the strongest, most grounded, and most powerful when you remember this is the strategy of the goddess Freya. The goddess Freya offers in your support. Wow. Gosh, if that doesn't tie into what I was even saying here about these flowers. Yes, jasmine sometimes is used for love and, beauty and all that sort of thing. But it's also, those flowers are oftentimes used in herbal blends. And even the essential oil of jasmine, if you burn it, those of you who have essential oil jasmine, you might want to burn that this week in an oil burner or a diffuser, because it brings peace of mind. And because it's a night blooming flower, and I find this also when I have diffused jasmine essential oil before bed, man, my dreams are so like out of this world, but they help to bring clarity. And that's probably why I was even using this clear quartz, because you need clarity. Some of you may be intuitively knowing some things, but you can't pull it from your subconscious mind to your conscious mind. So it's like you're aware of something, but you can't put your finger on it. So you need to bring clarity to what you're feeling and clarity to what you're intuitively knowing. And it's so interesting that as I was reading this, it says that the goddess Freya, being the goddess of war and being the goddess who pulled those who fell on the battlefield into a place of rest and recuperation. And some of you may have just been in your own personal battlefields, or maybe even the battlefield of your mind. Like, I'm really feeling like some of you are just dealing with a lot of worry, anxiety, overthinking, and you need to bring peace to your mind, and clarity to your mind is so important this week, especially with us getting ready to move into Scorpio season, which kind of deals with war and and death and bringing endings to things. But you have to have a clarity and a peace of mind, because if you're constantly worried and anxious and overthinking, then how can you get up and fight again? Then some of you are already defeating yourself mentally. And that's why you may find yourself constantly, not constantly, but feeling defeated is not that somebody else defeated you. It's not that that challenge defeated you. It's that you're defeated in your mind through worry and anxiety. So you need peace and clarity in your mind so that you can get up and fight another day, so that you can meet your challenges and overcome. All right. So the alignment message says, failure and disappointment are parts of life that few want to accept. Perhaps a job you want doesn't come through, a lover you thought was the one betrays your hopes and expectations, or maybe your kids are acting out. Maybe a long-term creative project didn't yield the success you so dearly hoped for, or perhaps you were hurt by someone for no apparent reason. The goddess of war and radical acceptance, Freya, says, have no fear. This is only temporary. Now is not the time to linger in perceptions of low self-worth. Your alignment task is to accept the truth wholeheartedly and see your situation exactly for what it is. She will bring you to a place of surrender where you have time to heal. Freya knows that you will emerge stronger and wiser. Only good can come out of this. Trust the goddess Freya is watching over you. So again, looking at the things that you think have defeated you, looking at the things, those challenges that you think you cannot overcome, or that you think, have overcome you, and understanding, this goddess is about seeing things for what they are, like getting out of self-deception, and seeing things for what they are, but also knowing that you have the power to overcome, and that your ability to overcome actually comes from you finding peace within yourself. Because continuing to fight a battle that you're not resolute about in your own mind, that you're not resolute and calm and peace and clear about in your own mind, will keep you fighting battles that you can't win. So in order to know how to win, how to overcome, how to heal, you have to allow yourself to rest and recuperate, so that you can win your own, your battles. All right. So, these cards here that came up in your reading, the one on the bottom is just your general wisdom, what you perhaps where you are now or what you need to know. What crosses it helps you to know what can either hurt or help you in your general wisdom. Okay, so you receive, the Six of Swords, and it's crossed by the Knight of Cups. The Six of Swords, and it's crossed by the Knight of Cups. So the Six of Cords, help me to speak, y'all. The Six of Swords is a card of acceptance. I mean, it goes so much in line with what the goddess Freya spoke to you all. The Six of Swords is a card of acceptance and walking away. Anytime I see the swords, I know that we're dealing with a lot of times we're dealing with mental energy, what how you think, your logical mind, everything that goes on in your head, right? And also then even the words that you speak, and then how that converts into your action. So the Six of Swords, if you see, they're on their boats and they're rowing away. They're no longer fighting this battle. They're no longer having this argument. Six of Swords usually appears like after you've just gone through some challenges or gone through, uphill battles, and you're just ready to count your losses and walk away. But it's not a card, even though I said count your losses, it's not a card about losing either. It's really a card of wisdom, because is when I see the Six of Swords, I know that you're walking away knowing that there's nothing left for you to say, there's nothing left for you to do. Because some people still just keep arguing, fighting, swinging their verbal swords, swinging their mental swords, even after they should have stopped a long time ago. You ever see that person that just won't shut up, won't stop arguing, won't stop fighting, just keep not even meeting the same problem in a different way. They just keep coming to the same problem the same way, right? But the Six of Swords is a wisdom card. It feels like a loss at first. It feels like, that feeling that you may have when you're walking away from somebody talking junk, you know what I mean? And you're being the bigger person walking away. At first it feels like defeat, because your natural instinct is to want to keep fighting. It's to want to keep, it's to want to have the last word. It's to want to get your point across, is to want to be victorious. But the Six of Swords is like, no, it's time to walk away. Like, it's time to cut your losses, because if you stay here any longer, you will lose even more. So the best thing to do is to walk away, because there's no more to be gained where you are. There's no more to be learn the lesson and move on. You know what I mean? It's nothing left in the present state. It's about accepting, radical acceptance of what has occurred, seeing things for what they are, not lying to yourself, being very clear about what is going on, what is happening. And again, like I said, with this entering into Scorpio season, being able to release and let go of the people, circumstances, thoughts, behaviors, whatever that are hindering you, that are blocking you, that keep you stagnant, to be courageous enough to walk away. A lot of times when we talk about courage, we talk about facing the battle, and swinging your sword, but sometimes, you got to have courage to walk away. You got to have courage to be done with the situation, because to stay in the situation or to keep dealing with the person, the place, the thing actually will drain you and might kill you in the long run, like might kill your spirit. Might put you in a mental state you don't want to be in. So the best thing you can do is to accept things as they are. Look at things, because you can't change nobody but yourself, right? You can't transform anybody but yourself. So see the situation for what it is, accept it, and then be willing to move on. It's crossed by the Knight of Cups. And so the Knight of Cups, this could go one or two ways, depending on, you got to apply this to your own story, because you're not the only one who selected card group number 3. So apply this however it applies to you. This could go one or two ways. The Knight of Cups sometimes represents, a lover, because the cups are like, that love energy, their heart, the emotion, and so this could be a person who is coming to your life, got your emotions all stirred up and everything, and you're having to walk away from that situation. Like, maybe they weren't all that they claimed to be. Maybe they've hurt you more than once. And this may not even be just a lover for some of you. Some of you, it might be anybody who has touched your heart in some kind of way. A person that you thought you could trust, a person you thought you could depend on. It could be a family member. It's just that sometimes, in love readings, the Knight of Cups comes up. So it could be a lover. Somebody who... you gave your heart to, or somebody who appeared to be, this shining knight or princess, whatever, whichever, whoever you loving. And maybe they aren't all that they claim to be, and you're having to walk away, and there's some that can be heartbreaking in some kind of way, because it's impacting your heart, but it could also, the other way that the Knight of Cups can apply is that maybe you have given your heart maybe into a project, like something you had your heart set on, a particular job, a project you were working on, something you poured your heart into, your children, whatever, that you poured your heart into. And with it crossing the Six of Swords is saying, perhaps you're having to walk away from something you poured your heart into. Or perhaps the Six of Swords is saying it's time to get out of the situations, the circumstances, the relationships that are not helping you, and go in the direction of your heart. But in order to do that, where's my stone? Where is it? Here we go. You got to have clarity. You got to be clear on, what is really pulling at your heart? And is what's pulling, who and what is pulling on your heart? Is it something that is also simultaneously breaking your heart? Then yeah, it's time to pull out of that. It's time to stop pouring your heart energy into people, things, circumstances, jobs, projects, whatever, that are not benefiting you. Or Vice versa, if you may be coming out of situations that are not fulfilling your heart energy, and so now the Knight of Cups is saying, so now it's time to go in the direction of your heart. Either way, however this applies to you, and only you will know, you are highly encouraged right now to radically accept the thing that's in front of your face. See it for what it is. Don't lie to yourself. Be clear. Okay. Be willing to let go and walk away from all parts of it that are not helping you. And don't be tempted to, well, I'm gonna stick around. Well, I'm gonna try it one more time. Well, I'm gonna, no. See it for when you see things and people for what they are, then you can walk away, and you can walk away not feeling like a loser or like you're losing something, but walk away knowing, look, I'm not even giving my energy to this anymore, and go in the direction of your heart, and not that fake heart where how do I want to say this? Not that fake heart where you keep going to things that you are hoping will fulfill you because you really don't have any real self-love. No, I mean, if you're giving your energy to, if you're always putting your true desires on the back burner in favor of dealing with some foolishness, then it's time to stop dealing with some foolishness and put your heart on the front burner. But again, have clarity on your heart matters. Are you dealing with somebody you think you love and you think who loves you, who really doesn't? Are you dealing with a situation because you're hoping, having that job makes you boost your self-esteem, or being within that relationship makes you feel better about yourself? Because anything outside of you, and I talk about this in my book, I'm not trying to plug it, but in my book, The Magic of Self-Love, I talk about sometimes we do things that look good. We get in relationships that look good, not because they're really good for us, but because we're hoping to boost our self-esteem through that other person or through that job. So I'm not talking about that fake, phony BS heart. Oh, I just would love him so much, and I love that job. No, I mean, go really in the direction of your heart. Some of you maybe have to let go of jobs that have good have a good standing in society. Like when you tell people that let's just say, I'm just using it as an example, okay? Let's just say, being a doctor is like some, high good thing that people are like, ooh, you're a doctor, so just telling people you're a doctor makes you feel good about yourself, because you know that other people see that as some big thing, some high standard thing, but your heart is really on being a seamstress. So you're spending your time and your energy doing something that is not even in your heart to do. So it may be time to release the thing that you're holding on to so tightly. Remember, this week it's all about what do you need to release. You may be holding on to something so tightly because because of how you think people feel about you or will feel about you if you let it go. And it's time to let go of things that maybe look good, so that you can go for what is really good on a heart level. You get what I'm saying? So, ask yourself, be clear about why you're holding on to certain things or people. And if it's not for your highest good, if it's because if it's tied to, some low self-esteem issue deep down inside, then you definitely got to let that go, because it's all about living your purpose. Really, it really is about living your purpose. And so it's time out for being in these illusions, and it's time out for doing things just because they look good, or holding on to things because you're afraid of what you might lose. You're actually losing more by staying in stagnant positions. All right. So either let go of the fake heart related stuff, or go towards the things that your heart is really calling you towards. So only you will know how that message applies to you. And so the wisdom card that you receive, oh my gosh, this is the Scorpio card. Y'all, we are in Scorpio season this week. We're moving into Scorpio season. Regeneration. And that is all, at its height, that's the lesson that Scorpio tries to teach us all. That through death, through letting go, we are able to regenerate and create something new. But we have to be willing to let go. We have to be willing to go into the deepest, darkest, scariest parts of ourselves and to release what is no longer beneficial so that something better can come out of it. Wow, I really love when this card appears. So here's what regeneration has for you. Regeneration, rebirth, second chances, new opportunities. Second chances are available to you now. Whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived in a more authentic, stronger form. Whatever you may have perceived as a failure or a loss is now, is now being replaced. Wait a minute, lost my place. 1 second, y'all. Is now being replaced by something better and more powerful growing in its place. This rebirth is assured. Step into your new life. Destiny is being fulfilled in wondrous ways. Wow. So release and let go what you thought was dead. The thing that you are maybe so afraid of letting go of because you're thinking about everything that you lost in your pursuit of this thing. Just understand that when you let it go, something better will grow in its place. Something is being reborn and rejuvenated and regenerated within you. Go in the direction of your true heart, not your fake heart, not in the low self-esteem heart, not in the I can't let go because I just love this situation, this person so much heart. No, go in the direction of your true heart, which is always about your highest good. When you are in a relationship that is best for you, you feel good in it. You don't always feel bad. You don't always feel low about yourself. You know, your relationship, your job, your everything in your life you should always feel like your best self in it, or like you're always being elevated to your best self, and not bad about, because you shouldn't be finding your self-worth in other places or even in your job. You bring your self-worth to those relationships and to your position in your job. So make sure that you're staying, in the direction of your heart. Radically accept what is happening now. Find peace of mind. Be willing to let go of what no longer is benefiting you so that you can have the good that is waiting for you now. All right. So that is your reading for this week, October 20th through the 26th, I believe. Make sure that you click the link below to book your personal reading while they're still available. I have a feeling they will sell out this week. So if you're watching this a little late and some of those links are already down, then I apologize, but make sure you stay tuned so you can be aware of when they come back online and you can book your personal reading. Also get my book, The Magic of Self-Love. That link is below, and leave a donation if this reading has benefited you in any kind of way. And comment your card selections by Monday, October 21st, so you can be in the running to win our October giveaway. Thank you all so much for watching, and until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. All right, so thank you all for watching the pick a card for the week of October 20th through the 26th. Make sure you come back and watch this video throughout the week so that if there's something that you missed or something may actually become more relevant to you throughout the week. So make sure you come back and listen to your results throughout the week. Also, make sure you comment your card selections on or before Monday, October 21st, so that you can be in the running to win our October giveaway. Click the link below to book your personal readings while they are still available, and get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, and to leave a love offering or donation if this reading has been beneficial to you in any kind of way. Thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate those of you who are tuning in. You mean the world to me. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thanks for watching.